Hey, good afternoon and warm welcome from right here in my living room. This is CitYouth. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to have you here. Man, we're here for another great episode, another great half an hour, straight from us to you on your sofa, in your bedroom, wherever you are, because you're tuning in right now to our CitYouth TV. Yeah, we've changed the name. It's not Youth Night Live, it is CitYouth TV. Definitely make sure you are around every single Wednesday from 3 p.m. because we're live right here. We're going to do some games, we're going to catch some people. But today, especially, we're going to have some worship. We've got a guy, one of our good friends from church, Nitin. He has put a set together for us to worship because we've missed church, right? We know that we've missed church. We've missed outside, for crying out loud. Like, I loved that countdown. It was a reminder of outside, and it's sunny outside. I know you're missing it. I know you're missing the sunshine. I know you're missing meeting up with your friends. I know you're missing going to theme parks and that kind of stuff. But the reason why me and my friend Joel were so excited is because there is an end in sight. No matter what's going to happen, no matter what the next stage of this lockdown is, we know there's an end in sight. Amen? Amen. Cool. So definitely stay tuned. But right now, I have my friend Joel. Joel, my friend, how are you doing? How you doing? You right, yeah? It is a mad one. It is a crazy one because we've been inside for almost 6 weeks. The length of an entire 6-week holiday. But man, there's an end in sight, man. There's an end in sight. It's coming. Yeah, but we're here today. We're here. Me and you. We're here today. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your situation, because I know your situation. If you guys don't know Joel, just introduce yourself, Joel. Yeah, so you've been going to school, haven't you? You've been going to school, and you've been able to go in a couple of days a week. You've been how many days a week have you been going? Okay. Wow. Like, it is amazing that you're able to go to school, but again, we want to thank people like your mom who are able to look after the people from school. I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic, man. So if you cut, oh wow, okay, we're having some difficulties. Um, if you can't hear Joel, there's a few people who can't hear you, Joel. But what I'll do, I'm gonna try and find out where this whole we had a test, didn't we? Um, we had a test. So guys, if you can't hear me, definitely I'm going to introduce Joel in a minute. But why don't we before we have Joel reintroduce Joel? Why don't we have some worship? Why don't we go through with some worship, and we'll do that instead? Is that all right, guys?
Heaven thundered and the world was born. Life begins and ends in the dust you formed. Fate commanded and the mountains moved. Fear is losing out to our hope in you. Unstoppable now, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Lord, we just give you glory in this place. Wherever we all are, Father, we just want to give you glory, Father, as we worship you freely, Lord. Hear our cry, Lord Jesus. Speak to your people, speak to the youth, speak to this nation, Lord Father.
All right, so we've got Joel back. Hopefully, we've got Joel. Don't have Joel. Joel, can you just say something for me? Is that all right? Can we hear Joel? Can anyone hear Joel? Is that all right, Joel? Can we hear Joel? Say it one more time, Joel.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hopefully. But yeah, I can see on my screen that he's around. So can you reintroduce yourself, please, Joel?
So, as you know, my name is Joel, and I've been in lockdown. We've all been in lockdown for the past 6 weeks, maybe longer for some of us. And my mum is a key worker, so for some of these days over the lockdown, I've had to go into school and be with some 7, maybe 6 other people in my whole school, and it's been quite nice to get out of the house and just be in the sun on the field and kick football, shoot basketball and things like that, where I don't have to be enclosed in the same old space all the time.
Yeah,
so that's what I've been doing over the lockdown.
Which is awesome that again your mom's again considered a key worker. If you've got a parent that's a key worker, definitely raise your hand in the comments in the live chat, or just give a round of applause for all the key workers if you don't do already on a Thursday. But Joel's mom's considered a key worker because she helps teach the key worker kids that are in the schools. If you guys didn't know that already, and so like Joel, what's the best thing about that you found about lockdown so far?
I think it's just being able to stay in the house and, be with my mum and my sister, just watch films all day and not have to worry about being late for anything, not have to worry about getting changed for football or for hockey really quickly because I have to go somewhere. It's just been nice staying in the house, having a nice time with my family.
Yeah, definitely. And you said that your grandpa made a visit just shortly before we had a conversation, didn't he? So that's awesome. But what's probably one of the worst things about lockdown so far? What do you think?
It's not being able to see my friends, because I've made new friends in secondary school, and for the first few months I actually got to see them, and then next few I couldn't see them, and it's just been a dramatic change because I've just made friends with them, and it's difficult just not being with them for the first year of our secondary school.
Yeah, like that would be a hard thing to do, like for anybody who's inside right now, and maybe you're not in a garden, maybe you don't even have a garden. I don't have a garden, but it's hard not being outside and not seeing your friends, and that's why I think it's a blessing still that you get to go outside, you get to go to lessons and stuff, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Joel, like it's like I'm saying, it's a way. There is a way forward. There is a way that we're gonna get through this. We know that. And one of the things I want to appreciate actually is that you, Joel, like if you remember the Awaycation, right? Don't you? Remember the Awaycation? We had some fun. We had some fun. We had some fun at the Awaycation.
Yeah.
But one of the things I can appreciate is that people like you are tuning in on a Wednesday, and we've got stuff on a Friday. We've got stuff on Mondays. We do Zoom. So like we do Zoom on a Thursday as well, don't we, Joel? You've been there a few times, which has been excellent. So as much as there hasn't been something to go outside to, we've got stuff in here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, is there anybody that you want to shout out to? Anybody want to say hello to that might be watching? We've got people like Benedict watching. We've got Bundini watching. I say that Bundini. We've got a man like Brandon watching. Who do you want to shout out to in CitYouth right now?
Shout out Brandon and his scream. Shout out Jordan because he's going to lose to Pastor Mark. Thanks to Benedict because Benedict helped with the technical issues and the technical things in church. Shout out everybody that's watching, really.
Yeah, man. I love it. So, guys and girls, you heard it here first. Joel is shouting out and saying, listen, Jordan Mazzondo, not me, Jordan Mazzondo is going to lose against Pastor Mark. We're getting ready. We're getting ready, aren't we, Joel? We're getting ready for this new rap battle that's coming soon, guys. We're in the works of trying to get it live to you guys, a live rap battle for you guys coming up soon. But what I can appreciate as well today, it's a nice sunny day, so I think we should appreciate stuff. Is also knitting. We asked to do a little bit of a worship set, and I know you guys miss Sunday mornings, so we've got another song that we casually sing on a Sunday morning. What I want you guys to do is engage with this. I want you guys to worship. You probably haven't had moments of worship as community, and so what we're going to do right now is worship as a community, worship together right where you are, right in your heart, right in your mind, and say, you know what, Lord, I want to thank you. I want to be grateful. I want to make sure that I'm living every day to its fullest and taking on the advice of the people around me, and have a good routine, have a way of seeking you in these moments, during this crisis, during this lockdown, no matter what. Yeah, so coming up is knitting with another song for us in worship. Here's a look.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever know, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We're here for you, Jesus, we live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy
thank you for all of what you are doing and all of what you have done. We want to praise you because you're going to continue to keep us, and even though we haven't met together in a long time, you still want us to worship you, you still want us to speak to you and engage with you. So we thank you for this time, and yeah, we just want to bless you. Thank you. Yeah. Can we make some noise? Can we put some claps in the chat right next to this window right here? Can we put some praise noises, some whatever it is, some big old noises for Nitin, because he did that in like a day, in barely a day. Like he's my guy. He's my guy. You guys probably would have recognized him because he's led a couple of sessions of Big Praise Sunday with us. Maybe a year or two ago, but yeah, we just want to thank you, Nitin. I want to shout you out. I want to thank you so much for leading us in that time of worship. If you have felt like you need some worship, some just kind of like youth worship or some stuff that you know, definitely look back on today. This is going to be archived. It's going to be on our channel, and definitely just rewind it, have a look and have a listen, and worship your heart out in your bedroom. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance, either come and join us on a Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. We do have worship. It's probably not the biggest and liveliest set that you want, or the liveliest set that you know, but we're doing the best we can with what we have. So definitely tune in on Sunday mornings at BCC's YouTube channel at 10:30. But yeah, I still have Joel right here. I still have Joel, and we're gonna speak to Joel in a moment, almost towards the end. But we've got some teaching. And it was my turn this week to deliver the teaching. So we've kind of ended our journey with Abraham and that faith movement. If you guys have enjoyed the journey with Abraham that you've been listening over the last few weeks, definitely put some comments in the comments below after the video has been uploaded, or even in the chat, because we'd love to hear from you guys. And we actually want to reach more of you. We know we've got like about 20 or so of you watching every single week. But we want more. We want to engage you guys more. We want to hear about the kind of content that you'd like. I know it's from our my house, or our small environment. But again, we want to make sure you guys are blessed in what comes your way. So yeah, right now we're gonna speak. I'm gonna speak in a teaching from our Streetlights curriculum, and it's the finale of Abraham's faith journey, and this is called Faith Movements. Welcome back, CitYouth. I hope you've enjoyed the last few sessions that we've had. We've gone all the way from Genesis 3 in our very first lesson way back in January, all the way up to now where we are, which is Genesis 22. As you recall the story so far, we've seen Abraham go on this faith journey with God, and how he does that is by making mistakes, by making sinful errors, and by making sure that he's listening out along the way to God. As of right now, Abraham had waited years for a son. He and his wife Sarah plotted and schemed even to try and get God's plan active by their own means, and that meant adultery by giving Abraham Hagar to sleep with. Now, that plan failed miserably. Hagar had a son, and now Abraham and Sarah are expecting Isaac. Again, they waited so long, but they wanted to do it by their own means. They tried to hijack God's plans and tried to make some kind of counterfeit plan of their own. Now, they already knew that God had promised Abraham this infinite amount of descendants through the rest of the nations and his descendants, and they were questioning, okay, how that's going to happen. But God's promise to Abraham was that he would bless the nations and have a mind-blowing amount of family members spread throughout the whole earth, and that they would inherit the land that they were taking to. All of these were incredible promises made by God, but none of them would happen without a son, a real living, breathing son. And now God gives Abraham a couple of tests. The first test: go sacrifice your son to me on the mountain, is what God says in Genesis chapter 22.
Man, that sounds really weird. In other words, in English words, it means go and sacrifice your son and give your son to me as a special offering in obedience to me. Now, this sounds like something that was so out of God's plan and so contrary to what God had intended, but Abraham obeyed anyway. Abraham was about to lay on the altar his one and only son that he loved so much in order to obey God. Now, if you can picture it, Abraham is taking Isaac up on this hill. He says, servants, wait here for me. And his son's like, okay, Dad, where are we going? And his son's like, well, we're just going to go and worship the Lord. And as Abraham takes out that knife and raises it at the climax of this obedience, God stops him and says, whoa, don't lay a hand on the child. It's fine. This is where God intervened because God didn't want any harm to come to Abraham or to Isaac. He just wanted to see how faithful Abraham would be and if he would obey. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen Abraham on this faith journey, on this faith movement, and he's walked with God and messed up along the way. And even so, God's grace has been apparent in Abraham's life. And this is another moment where Abraham experiences the same as God's grace. When I was growing up, I really wanted to be a scientist. I really did. I wanted to be a paleontologist, or I wanted to be an astrophysicist. I wanted to be something. But when I was about 15 years old, that was when God kind of got a hold of my heart and made me kind of put those idols or those wants and those desires away. Not that they were wrong, they weren't bad, it just wasn't what God had for me. Obviously now I'm speaking to you, I'm a youth pastor, I have been for however long now, but it was when God got a hold of my heart that I surrendered everything to him and said, you know what, it's not about my plans, it's about yours. Remember, God is our designer, and I believe that he was really pleased that I put those desires up on a shelf for the sake of obeying him. And I think he does the same thing with Abraham. He loves the fact that Abraham was willing to take up his son, offer him up because of what God asked him to do. God saw the true love that Abraham was giving above and over his one and only son, Isaac, the second son. The great thing about this journey, about this walk up the mountain, was that Abraham believed while he was going up that God was going to provide some kind of sacrifice. Isaac was asking, okay, well, what are we doing, Dad? Well, yeah, we're going to go worship the Lord, son. But it's like, we don't have a sacrifice. What's going on? We don't have a sacrifice. But Abraham said, God will provide a sheep to sacrifice. And he did at this right time, this key moment, as Abraham had the knife in the air. They looked over and they saw a ram in the thicket. And this is proof of God's providence, of God's provision, of God providing a sheep, and of Abraham's faithfulness. To this day, people still use that name and that catchphrase, on the mountain of the Lord, it will be provided. And that is in verses 13 to 14 of chapter 22 of Genesis. Now, what's brilliant about the story of Abraham and his faith journey is that God uses this particular story in order to make a reference to another story, a bigger story, and the pivotal story of the Bible. And we all know who that sign is. It's Jesus. He's the one who was sacrificed for all humankind for the sake of us. He was put on an altar, he was sacrificed, and he was then resurrected 3 days later. Now, God's faithfulness didn't hold back on his son. God's son Jesus showed a faithfulness that didn't crawl off the altar, and he was killed in our place. It sounds so bad and it sounds so harsh, but this could only happen through a sacrifice of someone who's truly man and truly God at the same time, so that they would become the ultimate sacrifice. Now, ultimate faith says, I know God has provided a sacrifice for me and his name is Jesus. I believe. And that deep love that Abraham had in order to obey God is what God's asking of us. The family of faith was kicked off by Abraham. We can see that. But it was ultimately finished and pretty much carried on by Jesus' work, death, and resurrection. The rest of the Bible tells this story, and all the way up from Jesus raising from the dead to the early church starting, what God is doing is calling people into that family of faith. See, God initiated and will complete his faith movement. So this concludes our journey with Abraham, from where we started off in Genesis 12 all the way up now to chapter 22. And what we'll be looking at next week is how we can continue as a church this faith movement. We're going to have Zeddy, she's going to be here. She's going to be talking about the start of the church in Acts and how this faith movement can be carried on with you.
All right, Joe. So thank you so much again for being here with us. Hopefully you get a chance to check this out as well. So yeah, we had this whole faith movements thing. We had like this whole, idea or scene and story. This factual story of Abraham going from, small beginnings to really big promises to messing things up, and then like just being promised the world and everything else with it. And then there's kind of this just looking towards who Jesus is and what he does. So hopefully you can check that out. I'm not sure if you were streaming it right here and right now. But one of the great things, if you don't know, guys, that happens on a Thursday is that we get to link with each other. We get to chat with each other about stuff, about anything. We get to pray with each other. We get to just have laughs. We just get to play games. And now we've only had a couple of weeks where we've had a live Zoom interaction with a few of you. But what we'd love is to have a bigger group of most of you, so that we can like pray and talk and stuff like that. Like Joe, you've been in a few of them. Like, what have you thought?
Yeah. So it's really nice because I actually get to interact with people without being with them. So it's really nice because you don't actually get to see people a lot because you're locked down and you're inside your house. But going on Zoom and just seeing everyone, it's really nice because you know that you don't get that time when you're inside your house stuck all alone because there's nowhere to go. So when you get on Zoom, it's really nice to just interact with people and have a laugh with them and talk with them and learn more about God, because it's just nice knowing that people are still there even though you're inside these doors.
Exactly. And that's what we want to push, guys, because as much as you're not out right now, it's sunny, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, we know you want to be out, but on a Thursday evening, what we have at 7 p.m. is our Zoom meetings. There's a lot going on throughout the week, and you can check that on our Instagram. It's at CitYouth Birmingham. But connecting, like, it's good to see your face, Joel, like even right here, right now. But I'd love to see, I love seeing like people like Gemby and Kyra and who else did we have? I think we had who else did we have last week? Yeah, we had Jack.
We had
oh wow, upgrade. Nope. Who else did we have? We had a few people, but we had quite a few people. We want to see more of you. We want to see more people engaging with each other as a Christian youth group right here in the middle of Birmingham. Because it's important. We know how important it is to connect. We know how you love friends, so it's important for us to connect on a Thursday evening at 7 o'clock. Awesome. Well, thanks for that, Joel. I just want to say a big thank you for everybody who's been tuning in. Hopefully the teachings have been great for this season, series. Hopefully I've been a great host. Like, we're still going to be here on a Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. But do not forget to check out not just our Instagram, but the BCC website, which is bcc.life/youth. And you can also check out our Facebook as well. And you can see everything that's going on CitYouth from Monday straight through to Friday. So I think it's a goodbye from Joel, from me. Do you want to say bye, Joel? You want to say bye?
Bye. Everyone stay safe in lockdown. Stay safe, be in house, and interact with people on Zoom. Remember on Thursday, Zoom.
Yeah, remember on Thursday. That's it. Remember on Thursday we've got Zoom, the Zoom meeting. And the idea behind all of what we're doing is just to make sure you guys are engaged. God is working you guys, and that you guys are fed. We're feeding you, that we're encouraging you. So jump on Zoom tomorrow night at 7 p.m. then that's it. Right, guys, cool. It's the best half an hour of your week. You know what it is. It is me, Pastor Jordan. Take care, stay safe. God bless. We love y'all. We miss y'all.